Welcome back. Big news this past week from an iconic Wisconsin company, Harley-Davidson, saying it will repurpose its Milwaukee headquarters. Milwaukee's Harley-Davidson headquarters, a staple in southeast Wisconsin. This past week, in an interview with Bloomberg, the company's CEO announced plans to repurpose the 500,000 square foot complex later this year. Harley-Davidson CEO Jochen Zeitz took over in 2020. Bloomberg says the motorcycle maker closed its Milwaukee headquarters in March of 2020 and has not fully reopened it. Zeitz telling Bloomberg having the ability to just push a button wherever that person sits, get that person online, or create a meeting that is not defined by which floor you sit on and who's in the corner office. He added, it democratizes the way we work together and allows you to bring the best talent into the company no matter where they sit. The company did not provide specifics on what the new plan will entail. Still, it's leading to questions here in Wisconsin from Milwaukee's business and real estate communities. Tracy Johnson is the president and CEO of the Commercial Association of Realtors Wisconsin. She joins us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm curious, when you saw the report on Harley-Davidson, where did your mind go?
Well, it's a lot of real estate that would be coming on the market. We're talking about 500,000 square feet, 6.5 acres right in the middle of downtown, near West Side, of course. But I wasn't necessarily surprised to hear this news. Harley-Davidson for many years has become a more and more global presence. And, you know, during the pandemic when they shut down and didn't report to the office, they were really tapping in, I think, to the global workforce. And so the need for that office space, I think, just diminished. And this was something that was already in the making.
We don't have details just yet, but what are some possibilities for that area, for that property?
Well, there's been a lot of talk about repurposing that space. If you've been by that space recently, you know that it is an industrial type building. It was built in the early 1900s. And so to repurpose that into multifamily or apartments, I think might be a stretch. There has been talk about reconverting that, putting that back on the market for additional office space, turning it into a campus. I think they have a lot of opportunities to also split up that property into other uses in terms of a campus. But what they need to do is really be thoughtful about their presence in that neighborhood. That is a neighborhood that will greatly benefit from very smart reuse of that property. But again, it's a publicly traded company. Real estate, as probably their second largest expense on the balance sheet, is really important to make the right decision.
You bring up the neighborhood. A decision like this affects more than just that property. It affects the neighborhood. It affects the businesses in the neighborhood that relies on that in-person workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they've been drawing for years from a local workforce. But again, as they've gone to a global company, a global footprint, you know, they're really relying more and more on that remote workforce. So whatever they do, they need to be thoughtful and they need to work with the community. I think it also presents another opportunity for Milwaukee to work with city development and other business leaders to say, how do we make Milwaukee the place where remote workers want to live? And really think about that as a great place to live as more and more companies, not just Harley-Davidson, make those decisions for remote work.
So you see opportunity?
Of course I see opportunity. We're in real estate. We always see opportunity.
Are you seeing more of this as you look statewide? Is this becoming more common where companies are looking to repurpose their space or maybe shed some of their properties?
Well, you know, when you think about the repurposing of properties, you look at what happened with the Grand Avenue Mall, which is now reconverted into office space, which is converted into entertainment. I think you're seeing that across the board. But specifically when it comes to office, in Milwaukee, our association just released their Q3 report, and it did show that there is a slowdown. There is a higher vacancy, there is negative absorption, because companies that had signed leases 10 years ago before the pandemic, and before there was such a focus on technology and hybrid work, are letting those leases burn off. They're making different decisions about their office footprint. You also see users, though, who are saying, well, I can get more for less as rents are decreasing and more space becomes available.
What about companies, though, that own properties? They still have to pay the property tax on that, so they still have to come up with the money. Are you seeing where companies are maybe leasing out a floor or you're seeing some stuff like that.
Well, absolutely, and that's the sublease market, I think, is really hot right now, if you will. You saw that with Manpower, Johnson Controls. There are a number of companies who are hanging on to their real estate. They're leasing it out to other users, but still hanging on to it because they never know when they could use it again. And so you are seeing that. That is not as helpful to the overall real estate market, though, because it does increase the competition and availability, which lowers the rents.
Do you see things going back to the way they were before the pandemic when it comes to commercial real estate in Wisconsin?
I think, commercial real estate is always evolving, but when it comes to that return to work, return to the office, you are seeing CEOs really wanting to see their workers back in the office in a day and age when innovation is what is going to drive your company forward. It's going to drive your profits. Innovation doesn't always happen behind a computer. It happens when you have that incidental contact with your office mates, when you are getting together in person and meeting and convening and collaborating. We've seen even manufacturers across the country who are investing more in their workplace because they want to be an employer of choice, especially now in the recession, which we are in. You are going to see a slowdown in hiring, and so those workers who want to work remote are going to have fewer opportunities to move around, and I think the employers now are going to have a little bit more leverage, and what they want to see, I believe, is either in office or some sort of hybrid model.
Tracy Johnson, President and CEO of the Commercial Association of Realtors Wisconsin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, the latest forecast from the Cook Political Report and new analysis you'll see only right here.